La fefa cubano. It's not that these fuckers didn't think the leopards would eat their face. They thought they were fucking leopards. Earlier this week, the Trump administration removed a program that Biden had implemented that allowed temporary legal status of immigrants from Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. The program, implemented by Biden, worked that you had to be vetted, work here, and have a financial sponsor. Trump decided no go. And 530,000 people who came here for temporary legal status to work are now going to have to leave. Their status has been revoked and they will have 30 days to get the fuck out. So the Cubans for Trump, how'd this work out for you? That red wave that went through Florida, you could ride that bitch all the way back to Cuba. We tried to fucking tell you. I don't understand. Folks from Cuba that want to avoid an authoritative communistic regime like Castro somehow gravitate to the fucking Republicans. Look at these fucking assholes down here. Look at these flags on this fucking boat. You think that Trump in any way is going to help anyone that's not white? Cubans aren't light enough. To Trump and the people in power, you're nothing but la cucarachas.
Don't be the bigger person today. Be the person that helps them understand that sometimes when you fuck around, you find out.
Administration says that as soon as next month, they're going to be ending the legal status of more than 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. If they don't leave before losing that status, they could be targets for deportation. So these migrants were allowed into this country legally under a program from the Biden administration.
If there ever was a definition of fuck around and find out, we have just found it. Where are my Miami Cubans at, huh? Where are you guys at? Because you guys were loud and proud back then. Where are you at now? He had you all fooled saying that the deportations were only for the bad people, the unalivers, the rapists, the ones bringing drogas into the country, right? He had you guys so fucking fooled. It was only the bad people. And now you guys fucked around and found out because you voted him in, and now look it. Y'all thought because your skin was light enough that you were going to get away with the deportations. But now that it's affecting you all, you're all on the internet boo-hooing and crying. Why are we going back to this country? Why are you sending me back? I did this the right way. He doesn't give a shit. When are you going to learn? If you're brown, if you speak Spanish, he wants you fucking gone. Gone. And now you fuck around and you found out.
I have always said that stupid people are the most dangerous people on this entire planet. I don't trust dumb people. I avoid stupid people like a ticking time bomb with no timer because you're not sure when they're going to go off. You can guarantee they're going to go off, you just don't know when. Let me be very clear about this. Stupid has nothing to do with diplomas or degrees or jobs. I have met morons with Ivy League paper plastered all over their walls in frames who couldn't navigate a moral choice if you drew it for them on a map. Stupid people walk around through life oblivious to the damage they cause. They're the ones who vote against their own interests. They think they're always right, and that's the problem. That right there is the real poison. Because when you're stupid and you do things like vote against your own self-interests, you become the puppet, pulled by fear, pulled by propaganda, by whatever authority pats you on the head and says, "You're doing a great job, vote for me." I would sooner sit next to a hateful, racist person than a stupid person. At least the racists know who they are. They're going to spew venom for sure, but there's a twisted kind of honesty to them. You know where you stand with them. You know exactly where the landmines are. With stupid people who vote against their own interests, you never know. They'll smile at you, they'll call you their friend, and they'll gladly set the room on fire with you in it, thinking they're helping. Stupid people are chaos wrapped in flesh. They will never truly know the harm they cause until it's too late. And that right there is the real problem.
So, in today's episode of FAFO Season Political Edition, we have Cuban voters, many of whom were loyal MAGA supporters, now staring at their TV screens like a plot twist they never saw coming. Because guess what? Trump just pulled the reverse card on them. The same man they proudly rallied behind is now out here revoking legal status protections for Cubans. Yeah, you heard that right. And let me tell you, the panic, the meltdown, it's real. But we thought he was going to protect us. We're the good immigrants, not like, them. This has to be fake news. I mean, right? Oh, it's real, baby. And the irony? Delicious. All right, let's break this down for the folks in the back. See, back in the day, aka like 2 seconds ago, some Cuban voters went hard for Trump. They were chanting, "Build the wall," rocking their MAGA hats, and thinking that his anti-immigration stance was for, well, other people. Oh, but plot twist. It was never just for other people. It was always for anyone who wasn't born into generational wealth with a country club membership. And now, after years of Trump is for us, bumper stickers, and Democrats want open borders, Facebook rants, these same folks are realizing Trump don't care who you are. If there's an immigration policy to be rolled back, a legal protection to be gutted, or a community to be thrown under the bus for political clout, it will happen. We tried to tell y'all, but did y'all listen? Nah. Y'all were too busy calling everyone else radical leftists and communists. And now, the communist regime you were running from just turned into the MAGA regime you voted for. Oh, the irony. And now, we are witnessing history in real time. Cuban MAGA supporters are freaking out like someone just told them Bad Bunny switched to country music. Let's quickly dive into the rest of the video, and we will be back for more commentary.
Just ordered the deportation of 500,000 Cuban, Venezuelan, and Haitian immigrants that came here the right way. And my question for my fellow Cubans is, are y'all still feeling special? My entire childhood was spent being fed the narrative that our family came here the right way, and that everybody else that's complaining about being deported, well, they just need to go back to where they came from, start the process over legally. I don't want to ever hear another Cuban American say some shit like that ever again. I'm going to laugh in your face. Maybe you all will finally realize that no matter how much you try to blend into white Western European culture, no matter how much you try to pretend that you don't eat ham croquettes for breakfast and that you've never had ajiaco for dinner in your entire life, the problem is that Donald Trump is never going to see you as human. It's always been about racism. Here's the part that we like to talk about in our homes when no one else is listening, but I'm going to go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. You all think that you are better than every other type of Latino American. Conservative Cuban Americans, MAGA Cuban Americans, think that you are better than every other flavor of Latino American. And now we have proof. You are no different. We are no better than anybody else. No matter how many times you place your vote for Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they are still going to see you as subhuman. And even if you hang your hat on the fact that you came here the right way, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter to him, because if he wants you gone, he's going to find a way to disappear you.
Hi guys, let's talk. You know, I live in South Florida, Miami-Dade, and for decades, Cuban Americans have been voting for Republicans. And sitting back watching this, I never could understand why, because Republicans have never did anything good for Florida. They keep their wages down. They take away blocking union rights, blocking healthcare expansion, taking away civil and voting rights. Nothing for Florida. And yet Cuban Americans have voted over and over again for Republicans. Even this time around, when we had the Republican president candidate talk about mass deportations, and all experts said before the election was that to achieve these numbers, they would have to deport both legal and illegal immigrants. Legal and illegal. In order to reach the numbers they want to deport. Remember, Republicans are beholden to corporate interests. They want to come up and buy all this property cheap, snatch up all these businesses cheap. So, there has always been a financial calculation with Republicans. And now, sure enough, just as he says, Donald Trump revoked the TPP protection, temporary protective status for Cubans, putting them on the deportation block as well. You know, this could have been avoided. Really, a lot of people were warning Latinos about what was going to come, but they chose to ignore not the subtle signs, but the overt messages to their base that we're gonna preserve American blood. Thank you for your support. Follow, comment.
So I have this guy in my life who is a family member of a family member, and he, for the last 8 years, has made my life hell, walking around with the hat and the shirt and screaming and blah, 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 blah. And then after the election, it was blah, blah, and blah. And then I found out that his bank sent him a letter saying, hey, I know you've had an account here for 3 decades, but can we get a passport from that original country you came from? And, well, he doesn't have it. And so he got a little stressed. And let's just fast forward. He went to a couple other banks, and they won't give him an account without that passport from the original country either. So he had to take out his money and give it to a citizen. I'm a citizen, by the way. I was born here. But he was in my face about it, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't seen him since, but God, I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to fucking see him. Because that mother chucker fucked around, found out, wore the merch, and turns out he couldn't even fucking vote. And all this time I thought there wasn't a Jesus because they were comparing him to Trump. Turns out there is. But his name's not Jesus. It's karma. I have to find the good in some of this.
The Trump administration has announced a policy change that will end legal protections for certain Cuban migrants, leaving thousands at risk of deportation, many of whom have lived in the U.S. for decades. Wait a minute, so you mean to tell me y'all left Cuba to escape a government that didn't care about you, voted for a man who promised he'd protect you, and now you're in the exact same situation you tried to avoid? Sounds like a self-inflicted problem, no? Maybe, just maybe, when people told you that Trump's America First policies included you too, that wasn't some radical leftist fear-mongering. It was just facts. So now the question is, what happens next? Will these same Cuban MAGA voters finally wake up and realize that Trumpism is a scam that only benefits the ultra-rich and the ultra-white? Or will they double down, deflect, and blame this on, Joe Biden's fault somehow? Because you know the mental gymnastics about to be Olympic level in these comment sections. Maybe, just maybe, Trump actually has a secret 4D chess move we just don't understand yet. Nah, he don't. All right, y'all, that's the latest episode of We Told You So, But You Didn't Listen, featuring Cuban MAGA voters. But now, I want to hear from you. Is this the moment where some MAGA supporters finally realize Trump never had their backs? Or are we about to see even wilder excuses for why this isn't really his fault? And for the folks who saw this coming from a mile away, what's your message to the I didn't think it would happen to me crowd. Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you made it to the end of this video, you're a real one. Drop a fire emoji so I know you're locked in. And while you're here, like, subscribe, and share this with that one friend who swore Trump would protect them. I promise, their reaction will be golden.